right, we're at the introducing section. We played their video earlier on, Dubinski, and they were on the. We played their music last week, and they're coming in for an introducing. So let's see if they're on screen, and we'll bring them in, people. I'm struggling tonight. I'm so warm. How you doing, pal?
All good, how are you?
Sound. Can you turn your camera to the side at all? Are you on the phone?
Yeah, what, that way?
Yeah, it's much better. When I chop it up and put it out there, it's more appealing. We can see more of your face.
Yeah, fair enough. How are you doing? You all right?
I'm baking, man. Are you?
Yeah, doing well. Making the most of the summer and that, eh?
Oh man, yeah, it's wonderful. Everyone, oh, it's too warm. It's too warm. Absolute morons. I hate it. I hate them. Oh, it's too warm. Well, it's not probably not too warm where you are. Where are you based?
Based in Edinburgh.
Thought it was. What have you got up to about 10 degrees now, or are you is it warm?
Just about, aye.
Yeah, I love
Just
Edinburgh.
warm enough to take the jacket off, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I know. I love it in Edinburgh. It's a lovely place. It's wonderful. Yeah, it says on here, me researcher, Edinburgh-based indie rock band made up of four brothers.
Yeah.
That's a bit.
Yeah, there's four siblings in the band. We were originally from Yorkshire. Family family were from Settle in North Yorkshire, but we moved to the Highlands of Scotland
I know that.
when we were pretty young. So most
Right.
of my upbringing was in the Highlands of Scotland, up the northeast, and then eventually settled in Edinburgh. So
Wonderful. Well, you've kept your Yorkshire roots there because you didn't want to send any money out of the band, and you've kept it all in house, haven't you? That's your Yorkshire root. Yeah, because that's the Yorkshireman. Did he dropped a penny, bent down, hit him on the head? There you go. Never mind. Don't worry. It's an old joke. I'm here all week. So, what have you been up to then? When did you form? 2022? Was it about then?
yeah, I mean, we've we've always kind of played music together as brothers growing up and that, but the past few years we've started taking it a lot more seriously. Um, and we've been touring about as much as we can, releasing music and gigging as much as we can.
Brilliant. I've got some questions for you. I'm just reading it because I've got some questions from earlier on, and then we'll flip back and ask you some normal stuff. So, this one. So you're all siblings shenanigans. Basically, what's the most ridiculous disagreement you've had in the middle of rehearsals? Was it over a riff, a snack break, or who ate mum's biscuits? Which one was it?
Most ridiculous fallout, I don't know. Probably about who ate the biscuits, to be honest.
Ah, brilliant. Oh, yeah, brilliant, great. So, have you got any festivals or any gigs planned in 2025? What's happening?
Yeah, we were on tour supporting a band across Europe. We're playing with this band, the Wanton Bishops, earlier in the year. So we went right across 16 shows across
Nice.
16 different cities across Europe, which was amazing. And since then, we've been gigging as much as we can. We had a couple of gigs last weekend. We're playing Lancaster tomorrow night. So if anyone's Lancaster way, come and see us in Lancaster. And we've got Gadabout Festival, another festival down Grimsby way, and we're going back to Germany later in the year. We've got Rolling Stone Beach Festival in Germany at the
Nice.
start of November. So I think we'll be touring either side of that as well, playing some gigs.
Oh, brilliant. So it sounds by that, I'm presuming, I might be wrong, that you're doing just solely do music. Is that what you're doing full time?
Um, Trying to make it happen. Yeah, I mean, you still have to work here and there to help pay the bills because as an originals band, it's difficult to make enough money to make a living. But yeah, we're pushing it as much as we can just to make that our living.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like you're on the right track. Definitely, definitely, and lots of activity and lots of things because a lot. You talk to a lot of bands and oh yeah, we're trying to get out from our local area. Well, you're doing Germany and God knows where else. So that's absolutely fantastic. So I bet you. How difficult is that with you? I think it's just a double-edged sword, isn't it? If you're family related, you all know each other and how you all work, but you can also fall out. So how do you get on with that? How does that seem to get on when you spend a lot of time together on tour?
Yeah, for the most part, it goes well. Like we've, it's a good thing. We have a good working relationship as a band of brothers. We can be honest with each other. We know how far we can push each other, as well. And we work well together. And I see it as a good thing that when we go away on tour, it gives me a chance to see my family as well as do what I love. And our dad still comes on tour with us as well, so he came across Europe with us the last tour we were on. So it's a good thing. We do kind of get to each other now and then, but we never really fall out big
Good,
time. You know,
good.
we most of the fallouts are kind of um, short lived. I'd say. You know, like we
Yeah.
usually kind of fall out, but it's like we can't get rid of each other, can you? Your family, so there's no point in
No, it's
really.
good, man. It's good, and like I say, it can be one way or the other guy. You know, especially well, there's one of the famous bands, but there's only two of them, and they're just so volatile. It's unbelievable. But that's down to drink and drugs, I suppose. So I get stuff sent to me and a bit of research and what have you. So the name Dubinski is it for your mum? Is it something to do with your mum?
It is, yeah. So her surname was Dubinsky. She was called Evgenia Dubinsky. So her parents were Polish and Ukrainian, immigrated to Bradford back during the war. Had her
Lovely.
in Bradford, so she grew up in a Polish Ukrainian household. Met our father, who's from Limerick, so an Irish dad, and she passed in 2016. So
Oh, bless you.
we decided to name the band after her as a tribute to her because she was always her and our dad were always so supportive of us and really wanted us to just do what we wanted to do artistically and musically and creatively, and they were always pushing us to explore what we wanted to do creatively, and they were always there supporting us. So it felt quite fitting
Nice.
to give the band name Dubinski after our mother. So yeah, it makes me proud
Yeah.
to be in this band and to take it as far as we can because I know our mum would have loved us to. So
Brilliant.
yeah, that's where the name comes from.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant, mate. And I mean, I didn't know your mum or anything like that, but that got to me now. That's really nice because she's with you on stage, isn't she? And you're doing all your stuff and you're touring and all the rest of it. And it's nice the fact that your parents have been that supportive with you, and that'll drive it on. So hey, hats off to you. I'm always
Yeah.
amazed by a band's name, and then when I saw that, and yeah, Kev B says that is an awesome tribute. It's absolutely wonderful, and that's why I like doing the interviews because you come up with things like that, and yeah, it's very powerful, very personal stuff. Wonderful. So does your dad play, or does he just come on tour and out the field? What does he do?
Yeah, he's always been a musician as I said, he's from County Limerick, so he's always been
He,
into his
I thought so.
Irish trad music. So he plays a bit of whistle and flute, and he was always into his jazz and blues as well. He's quite a good jazz pianist. So he was encouraging and helped us learn music as we were growing up. He was quite a big influence on us. And
Excellent.
I remember when we were kids, if we weren't going to sleep, he would take us on a midnight drive and put a cassette tape of Thin Lizzy on until we fell asleep. So I remember falling asleep to Thin Lizzy in the car when I was a kid. So definitely, my dad's had a musical influence on us.
Oh,
Yeah,
wonderful. He sounds absolutely awesome as well. Because you've got a good mix there, haven't you? If you think about Irish, your mum's side for Eastern Europe, and then you live in Edinburgh, you've got a real good blend of different things going on there, which is fantastic. And I imagine that's influenced your music style.
yeah, I guess so. I think so. Yeah, and as I said, with my dad and him being into his trad music, kind of introduced me to a bit of trad and folk music, which it wouldn't sound like it with our sound of music, but when it comes to songwriting and lyric writing, especially, I feel like folk music and traditional Irish music does have an influence on the way I write
Mm.
lyrics and write songs. So that has definitely rubbed off on me. And just being exposed to all kinds of music.
Yeah.
Like our parents were always listening to all different kinds of music, and same with my brothers. We would just bounce music off one another. So it's a wide range of influences for us. Not necessarily just indie music that I listen to all kinds of genre as long as it's good. You know what I mean? Yeah, it
Well,
sounds a
there's that
bit of a
about it,
cop
and
out, like, but
it does. I do surprise when people are fixated just on one genre or one kind of flavour of music and don't. I listen to all sorts of stuff, and it depends what takes me fancy. If I want a bit of liquid drum and bass one day, or a bit of ska another day, or
Mm.
whatever. I try and mix it up. I just get, you can get stuck in a rut, can't you, with your music? And I think the bands that do well, you can do it come through in the music, are the ones that have a bit of an eclectic taste because they're taking elements from certain artists or certain sounds. You might put a Motown groove into your music or something, and it really stands
Yeah.
out. So, oh, cool. We like your video. Video's great as well, and yeah, your dress. You know what I mean? Are you just what's what would you say your style is with your dress? Because I think you've got like punk rock pants in one of them. Someone has anyway, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Like we've all got our own kind of style. We know what we like to wear, and that. I just get all my clothes from charity shops, to be honest.
Awesome. Why
So
not? Who said?
whatever I can pick up for cheap, then that's what I wear. Eh?
Yeah, it's
Um,
good. It's good, man. It's got a. I'm not saying look like them, but like the sort of stuff like Dexys used to be, and they were a bit whack, and they had all of. It's sort of got that feel. You don't look like them.
mm,
Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I'm not explaining myself very well, but I look at it and think, it's got that sort of. I'm trying to think of the word. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. I'll
yeah.
dig myself a hole if I'm not careful.
Nah, you're
But
all
I,
good.
I
You're all
like
good.
it. I like the style. It's different. It's different. It's unusual. It's not. You're not all dressed in suits or whatever. Or whatever. It's pretty good. Pretty good. So,
Mm.
where do you practice? Where do you do your rehearsals and stuff? Is it in the kitchen? Because you're all. Where do you do that?
Nah, we don't live together anymore. We tried that when we were a bit younger, and it was too much. And we rehearsing. There's a couple of decent rehearsal studios in Edinburgh, that we rehearse in weekly, a couple of times a week, and we are ideally looking to get a space where we can keep all our equipment and call it our own. Like when we were growing up, for
Mm.
example, in the Highlands of Scotland. Um, Again, going back to our parents being supportive, we had a room in the house with the drums and amps set up. So they said to us like, just play music whenever you want to, like whatever time it is, just play.
They sound
Um,
awesome, man. They
yeah,
sounded like you had a great upbringing, and I think it's wonderful. And I wish more people were like that. It's
yeah, I
great.
was very lucky with our upbringing, and because we were pretty isolated and quite rural, we had no neighbours as well. So we did have the freedom to play music whenever we wanted, which was great. And I think yeah, it's a bit tricky when when you don't have a space like that, and you're having to hire a rehearsal space and you have a set time. It kind of puts a bit
Yeah,
of
yeah.
pressure and onus on making the most of the time. Whereas if you had a room that was yours to do whenever you wanted, it gives you a lot more freedom. So
that'd be good.
hopefully sometime we can get a room again like that. So
Well, the downside being in Edinburgh, being a beautiful place, is real estate's expensive, isn't it? So anywhere you want to rent's not going to be cheap, is it? Rather than the space in the
yeah,
Highlands, so that's not good. So do you all live pretty close to each other, or are you spread about?
relatively close. Fergus, the guitarist, lives by the shore in Granton. Owen, the drummer, lives a bit further out of town, and Donald, the bassist, has moved to the borders, so he's about an hour away from Edinburgh, an hour's drive, but it's down beautiful little town called Stow, which is outside of Edinburgh in the Scottish borders, which is it's lovely when I go visit there because it's got that countryside vibe and reminds us of our upbringing. And I think that's
Yeah.
kind of why he decided to eventually move back out of the city was because country
Mm.
lads were always kind of drawn back there. Eh?
Yeah, definitely, because you get it's. I am from a town, from Manchester, a big town, but I prefer it rural. I prefer being a bit away from things and not as busy. And do you know what I mean? I think it's a slower pace in it, and not everyone's rushing around doing stuff. And it's wonderful to go out and hear the birds singing and see animals walking around and things like that. And where I
Yeah.
where I live, I live in it's the biggest town in Warwickshire, but I only drive half a mile down the road, and it's all like countryside, and it's nice, and you just get away, and just clears your head. So fair play to him. Fair play to him.
Mm.
What does he say? Festival mascot. I've got serious daft questions. You see, festival mascot. If Dubinsky were a festival mascot, what weird mascot would you choose to represent your band?
What weird mascot?
Yeah, what mascot would you be that would represent your band? Do you know what I mean? It says here, right? This is thing, a dancing haggis. So I mean, that's a bit thing, isn't it? Or bagpipe playing robot, which I think it's absolutely bizarre.
bagpipe, bagpipe playing robot would be pretty good, I think. Aye, let's go with that one.
Absolutely brilliant. I do like the random questions. Oh,
Or a giant seagull, because the seagulls are going mad in town just now. Keep getting dive bombed by seagulls. So a giant seagull or a bagpipe playing robot, either or.
yeah, they're terrible seagulls, aren't they? We were down in Cornwall a couple of years ago, and there was a guy. I can't stop laughing now. There was a guy in a wheelchair next to us. I was sat on the wall outside the chippy having some chips. Seagull come down and nicked his dinner, flew off.
Oh,
So,
jeez, oh.
yeah, I know they're terrible, aren't they? They're an absolute nightmare. But it's weather's warm, people are about. They're after a bit of grub, aren't they?
That's
So
it, aye.
the old seagulls, right? So, who would you really like? You're on tour with people, but who would you really like to play with as a band out there? And you go, do you know what? We'd love to gig with them.
Um, I'm a big fan of Fontaines DC.
Right.
Always have been for the past few years. So it'd be good. It'd be class to gig with them. Um, I've always wanted to play with a gig with the Cribs as well. I've always been quite a big fan of the Cribs.
Mm.
So yeah, if we got a chance to tour with them, that'd be class. Because their first couple albums were a big influence on me when I was a teenager. New Fellas especially was an influence on me. So yeah, we'll go with the Cribs.
Nice. If anyone knows the Cribs, give me a shout. So, what's the process for writing? Because there's four of you. Or do you mix it up? Do you all do it together? How do you do that? So come up with an idea, the melody, the song. How do you go through all that?
Um, it kind of depends. We've got a few different approaches. Like sometimes we'll be in the practice room and we'll just start jamming a vibe, and then something grows out of that, and then we kind of play around with it a bit, and then write lyric and melody to that. Um, Otherwise, I write a lot of songs kind of on my Wurlitzer electric piano. And Donal writes a lot of songs as well, kind of out with the band. So we've got a bank of songs that we do our own writing, and then we bring them to the band. And then once you bring them to the band, like nearly finished pretty much, or how you imagine it to be, it then kind of grows arms and legs and breathes into a Dubinsky song. It's we've all got our own ideas, we've all got our own songs that we keep writing. But once you bring it to the band, it then kind of becomes a Dubinsky song once everyone has their hands on it, kind of thing. So yeah, it's a good thing to be able to let go, I think, and not be so stuck in the idea of this is what the song has to go like, or this is what the song should be like. I mean, it's good to have that idea and what you imagine it, but be
Yeah.
open to letting people run with it as well, because then it can go somewhere that you never expected. But I think, yeah, we have a few different approaches, but it definitely works for us because we're constantly writing, which is a good thing.
I think that's good because you're collaborating rather than someone being the authority on, oh, this is my track, let's play it. And I think the fact that you do it that way means everybody buys into that track and gives it their all, and they all feel part of it. So I think that's a brilliant way of doing it, and I think more people should do that rather than being, very, these are my ideas and this is what we're doing. Because
Mm.
otherwise, I think that's when you get someone who ends up being a solo artist because they can't cope with it. You know what I mean? Then they can go off and get some musicians say, "This is my stuff. This is how we're playing it." So it sounds like you've got a great working relationship together. You're producing some great music, and it all sounds good, man. All sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah, excellent. I love it. Love it. What do you tend to do after a gig? You got any rituals after a gig? Because obviously you're still on a bit of a high from that. Do you know what I mean? Do you go for something to eat, a drink, or?
Uh, yeah, after a gig, it depends. It depends on if we've got a gig the next day, how much I behave myself. You know what I mean? We've all got our own kind of rituals. Yeah, I'm the youngest of the four, so I don't know, I've still got some party legs left in me. But when we were on that big old tour in Europe, it was kind of consecutive day after day gigs, so I kind of had to take care. Couldn't go on the lash each night,
Yeah.
which was fair enough. Like, and it's good to try and have a bit of routine when you're on the road as well. And you can't go for it all the time, otherwise you'll just burn yourself out. Yeah, I like to after a gig. I'll go for a drink or two if I've got nothing on the next day. Tend to do that more if it's a hometown gig or there's a few pals around kind of thing. Otherwise, it's there's always a bit of a buzz as well. If we're moving to a next town after a gig in the van, there's always a bit of a buzz about it, and we'll talk about the night and talk about the gig and how it went, and talk about what we thought was good about it, what we thought wasn't so good about it, and kind of how we can improve. So we're always kind of being critical on ourselves as well. Not overly critical, but you know what I mean. It's good to think back to the gigs and how they went, and how we can do better, basically, if we can.
That's good. Makes sense. You're right. You can't carry on partying, and I think that, like you say, transitioning from one place to another, you're all in the van together. It's good because you'll resolve everything, won't you? Or get stuff out. Oh, we should have done, should have that. That was great. And you've got a shared, rather than you're getting your own vehicles and going off. When you're together, you can share that euphoria together for several hours and all come down at a nice pace, can't you?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of bands. I've talked about this a few times. Why a lot of bands that get into the wildlife, the drugs, and everything else is because I think it's because of that. You know, if they're on tour and they go out and have a drink, then they wake up the next day feel like crap. So they've got to have something to bring them up, and then it just goes into a big cycle, doesn't it? Just to keep going on that treadmill, and it's not good for you, is it? Long term, you know, I mean, can't sustain it. So yeah. So it sounds like you good work ethic as well. So you're the youngest, so they have to keep you in order, stop you getting going all Larry then.
Yeah, sometimes. Although, you know, they're used to me going gallivanting sometimes, so you know I get away with it. I'm the only one that doesn't drive still as well. So.
Oh, I can't drive, lads. I'm gonna have a drink. So, does your dad like a drink? He's Irish, so I'm going to presume. Does your dad like a few beers?
Nah, I think he quit for quite a few years now. I don't know how long it's been, but nah, he's dead sober, like so.
But did he? I bet he did, though, didn't he? I bet he did.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to relate. Do you take after your dad? Do you know what I mean? Do you like? You know what I mean? Does your dad like a few drinks? Do you like a few drinks?
I think he did back in the day.
No, I bet he did. I bet he did.
And Irish and Polish.
I know that's what I thought. You got the Polish.
I can handle my drink. Like.
I was going to say because they just drink whatever snaps and whatever they have. I forget what it is that I have over there. I used to work with a guy from Poland, and they have all the different shorts, don't they? And they can drink. They can definitely drink, and they can. And the grafters as well. Everyone I've ever met's a grafter. So yeah.
And the drinking culture in Scotland's. Can be pretty heavy sometimes as well. Like.
Yeah, you've got everything together to make you an alcoholic should you want to be one, and no one would even bat an eyelid. They'd be all right with that. Excellent. Is there anything I've not asked you wanted to get out and talk about or promote? Do you know what I mean? Because I'm conscious to ask questions, and I need to make sure you get your bit out.
Nothing in particular. Just more, you know, if you like our sound, then check out our recent album. It's called What Is Your Definition of Happiness? I'm really proud with how it turned out. We released it not long ago, so you can stream that on Spotify. Give us a follow on Spotify. Give the album a listen. I think it flows really well, start to finish, as an album. And I'm really, really happy with how it's turned out. So if you got a spare 40 or 45 minutes, then check the album out on Spotify.
Well, I've got about an hour's drive tomorrow. Because I'm going to a bike festival. I will slap it on then and have a listen to it on the way over.
Nice one.
And give it a go. No, it's been wonderful to chat. Before you go as well, can you do us an artist drop and just say this is Dubinski and you're listening to Duggy Stone Radio? That'd be wonderful.
This is Dubinski and you're listening to Duggy Stone Radio.
Excellent. Well, do us a favour, say hello to your dad especially and thank him for what he's done and what he's created, because with him and your mum, they've created a fantastic thing, I think, with the four of you. And say hello to your brothers for us, and keep doing what you're doing. If there's anything you want to talk about in the future, get hold of Janice. We'll bring you back on. Any albums released, whatever gigs, let us know, because that's what this show's about. It's not just a one-hit thing. We try and keep in contact with as many bands and artists and watch them develop and watch them emerge and do what they're doing. So it's been great to talk to you. I've really enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll be talking again soon. Nice one. Good to talk to you. Thanks, man. Been absolutely wonderful. Cheers now. Right, cheers. See ya. Cheers, mate. Cheers. Wonderful. So, wasn't he great? And that sounds amazing, doesn't it? I mean, that's sort of, I think it threw me the thing about his mum earlier on, and it sort of took me to a different place. And anyway, I think they're absolutely great. So let's crack on with some music, and we'll see if we've got some more videos. But go and check them out. Go and download their album. I'll go and find that. I'll drop it in the show notes, and I'll also drop it in the chat. And like all the bands on here, give them some support. Go and see them. If nothing else, listen to the music. This is the Flores. This is Stokey Stone Radio. Duggy's is Tommy Dustbin, and we sound good. Yeah, hit it.